You see right here? This is my persuasive speech on why teachers deserve more pay. When researching for a topic for this assignment, this has come up a lot, and also my dad is a teacher, teaches 8th grade science, so I've kind of, I guess, been around that a little more and witnessed that. One reason I thought was pretty cool that I found, I'm wearing red. Red stands for, or it's red for ed. Ed meaning education. It's a movement, a teacher protest that started in Arizona, and it's spread across many states, including North Carolina. And the best is a protest for more funding for education. Think of that one teacher. Most adults and anyone who's finished school has that one teacher, sometimes 2 or 3, that was their favorite, kind of inspired them. It's kind of not just a teacher, more of a friend as well. Maybe sometimes as a parent, because especially in elementary school, you always enjoyed going to their class, you just really admired them. The challenges a teacher faces. There's several challenges, there's more than this. These are the main ones that I found. One of the big ones is they wear several hats. And then when I say that, sometimes a teacher can be a social worker, dealing with several problems with the family and the family dynamic. They can also be a nurse and take care, especially in elementary school. You kind of injure something that's always right there to help students with that. Also, have to take disciplinary actions for kids. They don't always act right, so they have to take care of that. And then also have to fit in teaching. So that's a major role for them. Next is lack of work ethic among students. I know several times in class, for me personally, and I've heard my dad talk about it, a lot of times it's hard for a teacher to teach students when they're not really willing to work themselves. A lot of it's just the student has to apply themselves, and a teacher can get everything they have, and it's still rough for them if a student doesn't put the work in themselves. Little time to plan. There's always a schedule. A lot of times there's not always a set schedule. They're kind of going on the fly, I guess. Have to come up with lesson plans a lot of times. Have to change a bunch of different class periods. There's a lot of confusion with that. Fitting all types of learning styles. I thought this was a pretty good point that I found. Some students learn best with hearing information. Some have to see it. Some are hands-on, like myself. So as a teacher, trying to include all of those types of learning styles in order to fit every student to teach. Little money to work with. I know teachers have a budget, for materials that they can use to teach with. And I know every teacher would like to have a little more materials. It makes it a little easier and more fun for the students. I know my dad and some teachers put their own money in for supplies and experiments, different stuff like that. Meet expected goals. There's always a goal, for the end of the year. They have to reach or meet growth. So that's always something that kind of to the back of their mind that travels with them throughout the year. And then teach a certain curriculum. They're given a certain curriculum by the state that they have to go by. So they can't always. A lot of teachers want to do their own thing and at a certain pace, but at the end of the year, they're supposed to have covered a certain amount of information. Time versus money. I found this pretty interesting. A lot of people say teachers are paid less because they have a summer off. That's really not true. Teachers' pay is divided over 12 months. Sometimes it can get pretty rough over the summer periods and really throughout the year. But during that summer off, they're not completely they're doing nothing. A lot of times they'll come into class, come into school anytime during the week. They might have to prepare their room for the incoming year. Also, might switch grades, might even switch classrooms. I know several times. Dad was a principal one time. You have to move a teacher. They have several, me and the whole family, and move several filing cabinets, several books, a bunch of equipment from room to room. So that takes a lot of time. And also, many teachers sometimes get a second job during the summer just to help and have a little extra money, because the amount of money they get throughout the year doesn't really last, or they can't really be comfortable with it. Teachers only work 6-7 hours per day. That's when students are there. That's their contracted time, I guess you could call it. But a lot of times teachers are supposed to get there maybe sometimes 30 minutes to an hour before students get there to get kind of ready and settled and get ready for the first class period. Also, they don't leave right when the students leave. A lot of times they'll stay, in my class, my school ends at 3 o'clock. Most time teachers stay at least till 4 o'clock. Sometimes they have different kind of duties they have to do after school, whether it's sporting events or monitoring certain areas of the school. So that's a misconception there. How would an increase in pay help? Just a couple of small points. I think increase in pay would attract better quality teachers. I know a lot of times students may have the drive and really want to be a teacher coming out of college. When they see the amount of money they'll make over a year, that's a big thing that doesn't attract them to that job. One of the main reasons, a lot of times I know parents like the idea of being a teacher, but they'd rather their kid pursue a job so they live a little more comfortably since teachers get paid so little. And also teachers would be more effective. They would have, a little more confidence. They're seen, since everyone knows teachers don't pay a whole lot, so I feel like if they got paid more, they kind of feel a little more special, I guess, seen as higher than what they are now. So I feel like they would work a little harder maybe, do a little better job. People want teachers to get paid more. According to the PBS and an educational study, they actually did a poll, actually 2 polls. One poll said actually 78% of people say that teachers should get paid more. 78, I mean, anything above 50 is solid, but 78% is a pretty stout number, so I thought that was something definitely to announce. Location matters. According to Forbes, they found this graph. This is from 2017. This is annual wages for teachers. It has the green is the top 10 states. You can see Alaska and New York. Those are known for receiving a lot of money for teachers. The bottom ones in orange and yellow are the lowest 10. 2017, North Carolina was towards the bottom, almost at the bottom. I know West Virginia, a lot of the studies that I looked at, West Virginia is known for having a very little amount of money for teachers. But in 2017, the average teachers, North Carolina was 3rd from last, an average of about $46,000 a year. So that's honestly pretty sad, North Carolina. U.S. versus North Carolina. This is according to the National Education Association. This graph was put out in 2014. The blue, it's line plot, the blue represents the U.S. average teacher salary, and the yellow is the North Carolina average teacher salary. So you can see that the yellow never reaches the blue. North Carolina never reaches the U.S. amount. Blue constantly gains, never really hit a decline. But North Carolina, you can't really see that number probably with the camera, about 2008, they're always increasing. But then they hit a drop for about 5 years, all the way to 2013. So the whole U.S. is gaining the salary, and North Carolina is decreasing. So not 5 years or so from now off the graph, but that just kind of shows you that I'm sure we're still under the national average. And I think it's actually a blank slide. I think I might copy this slide. Keep going. It should be a source of data. There's my bibliography. There's 10 sources that I use in LA format. So you went through those. So that's the end of my presentation for the persuasive speech. So hopefully you learned something about that. Thank you.